Hey everyone, and welcome into today's video. I want to do some technical analysis today, and I want to help you guys out learn some of the tools that I use as a trader and how it helps me find areas of support and resistance, which allows me to capitalize at a much more profitable rate rather than just buying into a stock simply because I have an impulse and I'm not sure whether that stock is potentially at all-time highs or if it is at all-time lows. So as a technical trader, guys, it's very important to know these things, these areas of resistance and support, which is what they are called. Areas of resistance on a graph is where a stock has run up once before, it has tested price ranges at a high, and that is now acted as a ceiling, which is now called the resistance, and it has bounced back below that range. And an area of support, guys, is where we have seen a floor based for a certain stock, where an area has been tested maybe several times and it has then consolidated or bounced back from that area and then gone on to further all-time highs. And knowing when a stock technically is at a support or resistance can be a great indication, guys, to learn in the stock market when you should in fact be buying or whether you should be selling one of your stocks. So how do I do this? Well, let's just go on to a random stock. Let's go on to Tattooed Chef, for example, which is ticker symbol TTCF. I do all of my chart drawing, guys, on tradingview.com. You can make a free account on TradingView and you can type in any of the ticker symbols up here if you click on the left hand side, and that way if I was to type in Tattooed Chef, it would then come up with Tattooed Chef under here as TTCF on the NASDAQ, as you saw, and then we'll actually have the graph. Now I already have my areas of resistance and support drawn in on these blue lines. So what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm actually going to cancel out these blue lines for you, and we're going to help start you guys off so that you know exactly what it is that I do when I am doing my technicals. Now the first thing I do, guys, is I add in an indicator up here, which is on this icon there. Now I click on this and I use the relative strength index, and then once I have found the relative strength index, I would actually add this. You can see it has been starred because it's a favorite of mine, and then it will actually show up down here. Now the relative strength index, guys, allows us to see the price fluctuations of certain movements of stock, and once areas on the RSI come to this dotted line, this typically means, guys, that we are at areas of potentially being overbought. The stock is probably going to sell off and cool down, and vice versa. If the stock is at these low areas on the dotted line, which is at the 30 on the RSI and this is the 70, then again this would show me that potentially we have found some areas of support, and again we can then expect the stock price to increase. So these are some technicals, guys, that I use: support and resistance, and adding in that relative strength index. Now if I was going to find a support and area of resistance on this, then I would come on here and I would actually go onto the day chart or the 4-hour time frame, which basically means that all of these candles that you see up on here, they are actually a representation of either 4 hours, which is what I have it on right now, the 4H, or in fact if it was 1D, it would be the 1 day. So this here, guys, is a 4-hour time zone. Every single one of these candles is 4 hours in time length. Now I can change this to 15 minutes, I can change this to 1 minute, and I can update the chart as soon as the markets are open. But I like to stick, guys, to the longer time frames, because that way you are going to get those better averages and you are going to see much more clearly where we can actually see those areas of support and resistance. Now just looking at this off the bat, if we come back to November in 2020 and all the way through till here, you can see that if I was just to zoom in slightly, this is just after the merger date when this actually did come onto the markets. You can see that if I was to draw a line on here, you guys can see that there is some areas of consolidation where we have in fact touched down before, and this would indicate some areas of support where we have had the price bounce back up. So this is how you would draw a support line, and if you were to draw a resistance line, guys, I can move this down on the graph, and then again you would find those high areas of resistance where we have a ceiling where the stock has sold off. We did have a breakout up here and we had some dramatic selling, but there is a lot of buyers in the market at these prices down here and a lot of sellers in the market at these prices up here. So obviously sellers have entered the market once actually Tattooed Chef has entered around those prices around 23 to 24 $24, as you can see here, and then we have actually sold off. So this would indicate to me, guys, that this is probably a strong area of resistance over the last few months. If we date this back from April onwards, that again, this would tell me that we have a strong area of support around this range here, which is around the $16-17 range. And again, we do have that area of resistance, which is around that $23 to $24 price range. So I can expect this to in fact come up and retest these highs at some point, and then potentially have a sell-off. And then I would use my moving averages, which I can also add in on the indicator option up here, and I could add in my EMA, which is 21 EMA, my SMA 50 and 100 and 200. So these are all the simple moving averages, which is what you see are these lines, the yellow lines, the red lines, and the purple lines, and that just corresponds to the average price over 100 days or 200 days or 50 days or 21 days. And we can use these indicators, guys. Once the stock does come up above or down below, we can actually come back and retest onto these average day lines, and that way we are going to get the best average prices. And if it touches, we will usually have a bounce up or down depending on we are above or below that average. So if we use the 21-day moving average, which is this purple line right here, guys, you can see that once we were in fact above this line, once the stock did come back down, you can see that we are now touching exactly onto that line and is acting as a support. So this is what we can do, guys. We can actually use the EMA and the SMA lines as support zones, and we can also use the RSI indicator, as well as drawing on our original technicals for support and resistance. Now, once I have those lines drawn in permanently, I would then use this in correlation. So if I was looking to buy stock, I would not be buying it when it is at those all-time highs of resistance, and we are very overextended on the 70 plus on the RSI, and of course we are extended way above those moving averages. For example, here you can see that this is the moving average for the 50, 100 and 200 day lines, but if we come onto the stock was actually trading all the way up here, so we were very, very far away from these moving averages. As you can see, I would be looking for a pullback down towards that 100 or 200 or 50 SMA lines, and then using this as a support zone, and that would be a potential place for entry if we had any buy the dip opportunities. So this is why using technical advantage, guys, to your knowledge is power, and that is where you are going to get the best bang for your buck, and you are going to make the most money in the stock market in the long term. And if you want to see more content like this, guys, then be sure to subscribe down below. It is free. Just hit that big red subscribe button, and also hit that big like button for me, because it really does help out the channel, and let's get this channel up to 5,000 subscribers. If you would like access to any of my buy and sell alerts, which I do update every single week, then be sure to join the link to the private Patreon, which I will leave in the description below, for the price of a coffee. We have been smashing it on our Discord recently, and we have just alerted over 10 buy signals over the last 10 days. So some fantastic opportunities in the market, guys, to absolutely double or triple your money over the long term, and I'm very, very excited. We even had SPCE reach over 200% from our opening trade over the last month once we did announce it on our channel. So again, if you are new, then welcome inside. Let me know what you think to this video by going down below in the comments, and I look forward to seeing you for more content soon on my channel. My name is Jason. Have a fantastic end to your week, and I wish you well for your weekend, and I will see you guys in my next video. Ciao.